Mic check, 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Operation Hero Talk, the #1 podcast for the nerds, the nerdettes, the blurs, the blurdettes, the weaves, and of course the weebettes. It is your Swifty host, Demetrius Starks, in the building. What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How are y'all doing tonight? It is February 17th, working on, this is normally when I record podcasts anyway, is at nighttime, so, this ain't nothing new for me. But gonna go ahead and drop this podcast episode tomorrow to be available. Yes, I know we normally drop the episodes on Tuesdays, but, been kind of working on, getting this episode together because of the hero that we're talking about today. Not not really a lot of information about him. He's mainly been in and out of other people's comics and specials and things of that nature. But there's a lot to say about him now. A lot of things been going on with him recently, so we're just gonna dive right in. But with that being said, as usual, get this out the way. If you're listening to this, please subscribe to the Operation Hero Talk page, so that podcast page, so that you'll know when we drop a video. We also release a video on YouTube of the podcast episode in case you want to listen to it for free. We are broadcasting, on multiple platforms, and we hope to hear from you and comment and subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube so you'll know when we drop a video. My lovely co-host, Gaki Bunny, is MIA for today, but please believe she will be back. I know y'all like her better than me anyway. It's all good, though. I ain't hating. So, let's get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the hero that we are talking about today. Oh, man. Got a lot of buzz recently. He's been trending, ladies and gentlemen. He's been trending. Mainly because his movie that came out recently was very good. I enjoyed it. First time I watched it was on Disney Plus. Actually, I did not go to the movies and see it. My wife did, I believe. But yeah, I'm talking about the Master of the Ten Rings, Shang-Chi himself, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I'm going to program in a round of applause, because this man definitely deserves a round of applause. When you hear the journey, when you hear the things that he's been through, you're going to be like, oh my God. I mean, well, not oh my God, but I mean, like, man, he's got some history. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Now, why did we start this podcast, right? Why did I start it? Right? I started it because I wanted to shed light on heroes and villains that we've heard of, that we haven't heard of, maybe, talk about where they came from, how they were created, and how they got to the point where we all know and love them today. This is an important one for me. Know your role. Is it a big one? Is it a small one? Is it you, being at the head of the line or at the back of the line? Let me explain what I mean. What I'm saying is that on every team, there's a player that's important. All the players are important. All the players are important. But some are more important than others. But that doesn't mean that the less important players won't have their moment in the sun. And that's kind of what we see here. They wait, they wait, they wait, because they know their time is coming. And it's the same thing that I find here with this hero, Shang-Chi. Right? Now we'll go a little bit deeper into the origin moment, but when we get into the origin moment, but Shang-Chi's an old hero. I mean, he was created in the 70s, everybody. 1973 to be exact. So he's not new here. Why is he now just trending? Come on, everybody. Be real. You ever saw somebody in a Shang-Chi shirt? I haven't. I'm ashamed to say I don't have one. I don't got one. Gonna try to get one, but I don't. Not a lot of merchandising. Not a lot of him being at the head of the pack, but he is significant now because he's one of the main heroes in Marvel Phase 5 or 4. 4? Marvel Phase 4? I think they're in 5. 5. Man, 30 years. 40 years if we're being real. 50 years. Why does everybody love Shang-Chi? Well, mainly I feel it comes down to a couple things. One, we all love kung fu. Everybody loves kung fu. Everybody loves action, right? Everybody loves skills. Everybody loves the idea of martial arts, right? Martial arts isn't it's so little about fighting, right? It's a lifestyle. It's about, and I don't want to, I don't want to speak on this because I don't want to speak on this too much because I know there are actual martial artists out there that can speak on this more intelligently than I can. But I would like to think that, it's a philosophy. It's about, accepting the things that come to you, being at peace, right? And using your energy towards positive things, manifesting positive things for yourself and for others in the universe, right? That's just what I've observed. And when we're at peace, we find that we can be pretty powerful. It's the same thing here in this instance with Shang-Chi. Now, obviously, on the second half of the podcast, we'll talk about the movie, and that's really where we'll get into what I saw when what I have seen. Excuse me, when I saw when I observed the movie. Sorry, I had to crack my neck. Anyways, excuse me. I like Shang-Chi. I really do. I think that martial arts aside, it's a decent story, guys. And this is why I always recommend that people read the comic books, you know, because I mean, come on, let's be real. Unless you're a true comic book head, Shang Chi came out in the Bronze Age of comics. That was so long ago, right? So you know, the last issue before they revitalized them was in 1983. So basically, unless you're willing to go that far back, you have that much of an appreciation for the Marvel comics. You're not reading it. You're not going back, especially if you're my age or below. I'm 28, by the way, and that's okay. That's okay. No judgment, right? No judgment at all. We're not here to judge. We're here to love, right? We're here to love people. We're here to, be there for one another and, support each other in our nerdy endeavors. That's what we're here for. Okay. So don't feel bad that you don't know a lot about this hero. There hasn't been a lot to say. There's a lot of history, but unless you're actively looking for history, you don't know about it, right? Like, come on. Like, if you're in this world, in our world, how many times have you talked about Marvel heroes? I imagine quite a lot. Okay. But it's usually about the pillars, right? It's usually about the pillars. Spider Man, X Men, Iron Man, the Avengers, Captain America, etc. Rarely does Shang-Chi come up. Hell, even Venom gets more love than Shang-Chi. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Now, obviously, Venom is more marketable, but regardless, Shang-Chi has a great story, right? I mean, I mean, a kid trying to, get away from the past, trying to, who it kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of Damian Wayne. a little bit. Raised by a league of assassins trained to be a killer. Although I guess Damien kind of accepted it, but Shang-Chi kind of went the opposite route. Like, no, I don't want to do this, right? The number one thing I hear, which is what compelled me to make this episode, is that, man, where did this guy come from? It's like, what do you mean, where did this guy come from? He's been here. He's been here. First time I actually read an issue with Shang-Chi in it. I'll never forget this. It was actually, believe it or not, a Black Panther comic. Seriously. It was the 2005 Black Panther comic that came out. It was issue number 11, where he, and if I remember, yeah, I'm definitely remembering this correctly because this was my favorite Black Panther issue. It was the issue where he linked up with Luke Cage. Went out to a club. Luke Cage was bodyguarding for a celebrity that oddly looked like P. Diddy. And some things happened, and then Luke Cage ended up linking with Black Panther, and then they ended up getting attacked by the Ten Rings. And remember, this is years ago. I still at this point don't know who Shang-Chi is, right? And he's introduced by well, I guess, I mean, I don't want to call him his old name. I'll just go by the name that he used in the actual comic, Han. I'll get into what his other name was when we get into the origin moment. That's in like 3 minutes. But basically, Han, Shang-Chi's father, wanted him to marry his sister. Yes, that sister. If you remember the movie, you know who I'm talking about. And he was like, no. We ain't having that. We not having that. And there's actually something interesting that happens in this issue. Black Panther and Luke Cage actually get into quite a not quite. They just have a few words over it, but it wasn't really anybody being, mean towards another person. They would, Luke had an opinion. Black Panther had another opinion, and Luke just really wasn't trying to hear it. But basically, this is what happened. When Shang-Chi appeared, because he was there to rescue his sister, right? Luke Cage was like, who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is this guy? Now, keep in mind, this is 2005. And I'll verify this later, but I'm pretty sure that Shang-Chi at this point has made an appearance in an Iron Fist comic issue. Yet, Iron Fist never told Luke Cage about him. Why not? Could it possibly be jealousy? I mean, I don't know about jealousy, but I mean, could they have possibly fought? Who was more skilled? The net of what I'm trying to say is that Luke Cage is like, who the hell is this guy? And Black Panther's like, oh, that's Shang-Chi. He's like, Iron Fist never told you about him? He was like, no. Should he have? He was like, well, wow, no offense to your boy Iron Fist, but Shang-Chi is the master of Kung Fu. His hands don't glow, but you don't want his hands, if you get what I'm saying. Let me rephrase that. His hands don't glow like your friend, but your friend probably doesn't want to catch those hands. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Now, granted, T'Challa said this way nicer than I did, right? But I'm an asshole, so it's a little different. And Luke basically was like, yeah, I'm not hearing that. You telling me that Iron Fist is hating on Shang-Chi? Probably was, right? I'll have to do some research. I'll come back to you guys with an answer on this in the next episode. But you know, he was like, "Nah, man, I ain't trying to hear that." And then we get to Shang-Chi. So basically, Shang-Chi is there to because we got to get to the origin moment. Shang-Chi is basically there to rescue his sister. He is claiming that he climbed a mountain and fought a dragon in order to get to get to his sister. And it's the same kind of dynamic that we saw in the movie a little bit. I mean, what I liked about the movie, just briefly, because we're going to talk about it more in the second half of the podcast. Um, what I liked about the movie was that we really got to get an inside look of how his father operated and what made him ruthless, what made him caring, what made him a good father, and what made him ultimately a terrible father. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now past. excuse me. We are now past 15 minutes in the podcast, which can only mean that it is now time for the origin moment. And let's dive right in. Let's dive right in. Since there's no video of me attached to this podcast episode this week, um, I can finally use an iPad freely. Look, I got to do research. Okay, I write notes. All right, so don't judge me, y'all. Seriously, don't judge me. But let's get into this. Okay, so Shang-Chi, like I said before, first created in 1973 by Steve Englehart and Jim Starlin. Now, how this came to be was actually pretty interesting because it was sort of strange. Now, in the 70s, there was a definite martial arts kick that was sweeping the nation at the time, right? Kung fu movies were killing it. Everybody wanted to see them. Everybody wanted to see them. They were popular, right? Excuse me. So Englehart and Starlin actually approached DC. This is some typical DC shit. Listen to this. So they approached DC about about doing a character based off of a TV show that was running at that time called Kung Fu, ironically, and basically DC in typical DC fashion said, "Nah, we're good. We're good. We're cool. The martial arts phase, it's a fad. It'll phase out." Oh, DC, come on. See, this is the Jesus. You know what? I ain't even gonna wreck my brain. I don't work at DC. I just talk about their heroes and villains, and I'm usually pretty nice. So I'm gonna just move on with that. So basically, they got denied by DC, right? But staying true to their character, right? To their idea, to their theory. They were like, no, this is definitely not a phase. Martial arts is here to stay. And I think it stayed quite well. Who the hell doesn't love a good martial arts movie? Seriously. Ironically, great example. The new Shang-Chi movie. No, I'm be honest with you. I've been skeptical. I've been skeptical. I've been highly critical. I don't think that it's. I usually try to shy away from movies that are both comedies and martial arts based because I never think it mixes. I just never think it mixes. And the rare occasion that I saw that was Kung Fu Hustle. That movie was amazing, right? That movie was just amazing. Um, but I digress. So they go to Marvel. And of course, in typical fashion, Marvel loves it. Marvel knowing a good idea when they hear it, they love it. They're like, you know what? You guys are on to something. This can be something huge. I really think it can be. I think it can be something huge. But, but, we got a couple of conditions. Just a couple, not too many, and not even really a couple. Just really one, just one. Okay. We have a character named Dr. Fu Manchu. Dr. Fu Manchu. We got to include him in the comic. He's got to be in there. Yeah, we need him in there. And they're like, okay, sure, why not? So, as I was describing before, Shang-Chi's father, originally, Dr. Fu Manchu. Yeah. Uh, when he was introduced as pretty much the, not forgotten son, because I mean he was new, but and I won't even say long lost son. Just he was a son of Dr. Fu Manchu, basically, and that's how he was. That's pretty much how he was introduced. His first appearance in the Marvel comic universe was in the Marvel edition, Marvel Special Marvel edition. Excuse me, I cannot talk today. Number 15, 16, and 17, which will later be renamed The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Now, I've read these. Pretty good. They're pretty good. I don't want to do a deep analysis. That's not what this is for. I don't want to do a deep analysis of those particular three comic issues. That's not what this is for. We're about the character themselves. So, the comic actually had an impressive run, guys. I'm not even going to lie to you. It went 125 issues and ended in 1983. So this is where we get into kind of what Shang-Chi would eventually become, which is basically a traveling character. And every universe has it. So Marvel has it, you know, DC has it. Um, I mean, you really don't see that a lot in anime. Yeah, characters don't cross into each other's shows. That's not how this shit works. But it does happen though, and he's regulated to pretty much a special appearance character, right? For years, right? For years, and it works, right? He's made some pretty decent appearances, but it's not the same though, because what you have to understand is what happens is over time, as time goes on, he kind of gets lost in the sauce, right? Because what do you always turn back to as time goes on and as we get, excuse me, as time goes on and as the years go by, you always go back to your pillars. Those are what make you the money. Now, sometimes you can become a pillar. Example: Harley Quinn. We did an episode on that. Check it out. Harley Quinn's become a pillar. She's definitely a pillar now. In DC, I'm not saying that I think that Shang-Chi has that potential. In fact, I'm almost certain he doesn't. He will more than likely. He definitely is getting another movie, and then if they make a new Avengers, he'll definitely be in that or whatever the next big battle will be. He'll be in that most likely. Um, but do I think he's going to be a pillar? Do I think that people are going to be wearing his shirts and selling merchandise? No, no, no. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. And keep in mind, you guys, I'm not bashing this character. I love Shang-Chi. I really do. But he's not marketable. There's nothing cool about him. Not really, right? The martial arts is cool, right? The 10 rings are cool, right? But if you had a choice, would you rather see a kid swing from webs or a borderline narcissistic entrepreneurial millionaire shoot energy beams out of his arms out of a metal powered suit that he invented while he was kidnapped by a terrorist? Come on now. Who's making the big dollars here? Who's bringing the kids in? It's not Shang-Chi. You know who loved the Shang-Chi movie? Adults. Young adults and up. That's who loved the Shang-Chi movie because we appreciated it. Because we were like, oh, okay, so this is action packed, but it's also funny, and we're heavily invested into the Marvel universe, so we know how this fits into the into the big picture. Young kids ain't thinking about that. They ain't thinking about that, right? Now, people, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm just telling you what I've observed, right? This show is about my observations. Well, this episode is about my observation, you know. But I'm definitely not trying to hate on Shang-Chi. It's my dog, right? I just think that we just have to keep that in perspective. Now, let's see if we can, before we go into this break, I want to get a little bit into his powers, because in the comics, it's not really specified. So of course he has superior fighting skills, obviously, and he's used that to take down numerous supervillains, right? He's very athletic. Obviously, he's martial arts. Yeah, you got to dedicate yourself to it, right? If you want to be great at it, right? Fun fact, everybody, he actually ended up fighting the Thing from Fantastic Four, and they went blow to blow. They went blow for blow. It wasn't no easy win. I remember reading that. I was shocked. I mean, I'm like, what is going on here? But I mean, it like I said, you know, he's not an easy win. Is the point of that? Very good at using his chi or ki, however you want to say it. His energy, right? And guys, I'm not going to get into what chi. I say chi, so I'm just going to say chi. I'm not going to get into what chi is. Basically, it's just energy brought in by all living beings to the point where you're able to basically use it as power. There you go. Control over yourself, control over your chi, control over how you use it. So yeah, basically. And keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Through the research I've gathered, I actually learned that he has actually, there's been some issues where he's actually gained superpowers. Oh yeah, the man's been through quite a journey. he's been through quite a journey. Do you guys know? Fun fact. Before this, and I'll make this last point, and then we'll go into our short break. Did you guys know that he actually caught a spider virus and had the same powers as Spider-Man? I kid you not. Is Spider-Man a pillar? I think he is. It's crazy how it all comes back full circle, right? It's crazy how it all comes back full circle. But with that being said, we're gonna go into a little short break. Just go do a little ad. How you listen to a little ad real quickly, and then we'll come back and we'll get into the movie. Because there's a lot I want to say about the movie. A lot of things I liked. Not really too many things I didn't like, but it's me. I'm never satisfied, so I'll definitely find something I didn't like about the movie. But with that being said, we'll be right back. Yeah, stay with us. All right, peace. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 17, Shang-Chi, a team player. I'm still working on the title. I don't know if that's going to be the title. I'll come up with something clever. I always do. But welcome back. Thank you for sticking through that 30-second ad. I believe it was 30 seconds. I got to re-record that on the new microphone. Last time I recorded that was when I first started this 17 episodes ago. I'm very happy to be here at 17 episodes. It's still going. Keeping it going. Trying to get more consistent. But regardless, we're in the middle of an episode. Let me stop talking about my journey and get back into the hero. Now, let's get into the movie. First off, the movie, Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. Quick grade. I give it a 9 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, it was virtually perfect. Virtually perfect. Okay? I liked it. I thought it was the perfect blend of funny. Maybe could have been a little bit more action in it, but I mean, it was a lot of action. I mean, it's how can I say this? It's difficult. Just dropped a penny. It's difficult when this is why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10. The only reason why, because of the main antagonist, which was the huge, hideous monster spirit thingy. Right? I mean, yes, obviously Shang-Chi defeated it. Needed a lot of help from the dragon. But you know, when you think of something that big, you like, well, yeah, it's gonna take powers to kill this, not really a legendary kick or something like that, or just besting the other person in martial arts, which in fair he did to his father. Ladies and gents, I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking. I'm doing it. I'm saying that I'm nitpicking. I just would I guess I would have rather it had occurred in the opposite way. I would rather they have killed the monster and then he dealt with his father. But in retrospect, I see why they did it the way they did. You know, his father sacrifices himself for his children, you know, and voila, there we go. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. First of all, round of applause again to the cast on this movie. A pluses all across the board. I thought Simu Liu was perfect as Shang-Chi. I thought Aquafina was great and hilarious as usual. You know, you asking her to get her comedy on. That's her bag. That she in her bag. That was great. I thought that yeah, everybody was good. Here's something that I thought was pretty funny. Highlight of the movie, easily, Ben Kingsley, the former who basically, you know, was the person playing the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. I mean, he was just, guys, and I've explained this in other videos. Comedic relief saves movies sometimes. It really does. I explained this when I went over Mortal Kombat. I thought Josh Lawson's character Kano was perfect for the movie because he made it less serious than it had to be, and he made it less corny than it ultimately ended up being. Now, this movie was not corny, right? It wasn't corny. I didn't think it was. But still, everybody was the right kind of, everybody brought the right amount of humor
to the movie. They really did, right? Shang-Chi, Sean, I'm just gonna call him Sean. You know, he was really more of a go with the flow type of comedy guy. Aquafina, she was Katie, she was pretty much you know, what the hell is going on? You know, you're my friend, and I didn't know you had all this going on, but to hell with it, I'm riding with it, right? And the fake Mandarin, which is what I'm gonna call him. His attitude was more like, you know, well, you know, yeah, I'm here, so might as well help, right? If I can right some wrongs, I guess, you know, do what I got to do. Visually, I thought the movie was great too. I like that they didn't add too much to Shang-Chi's character. I mean, you really just they really honestly were sticking true to the comic in that instance, I think, because when you read the comics, he really doesn't have a lot. He's not a heavily geared up superhero. He's just not. That's not his, that ain't how you get out. Right. Another thing I liked actually was the how his father used the 10 rings, right? And how he used them as weapons. And guys, it's a classic story. We've seen it so many times. We've read it so many times. The warlord, all he's concerned about is conquering, obtaining as much power as he can until what ultimately brings him down or changes his mind. True love. It is so cute. It is so cute. I mean, you get it's like it's borderline cinematic cliche at this point, but I mean, we rock with it, right? We still ride with it, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, we know, right? A significant other can change us for the better, and that's ultimately what happened, right? He was, you know, changed. He met an opponent, not only a woman he fell in love with, but an opponent he couldn't beat. Wasn't about power. It's about enlightenment. I'm more enlightened than you. Therefore, you'll never defeat me, because I understand that what you think life is about is not what life's about. So therefore, I'm already ahead of you. Took him a few ass kickings to understand that, but I mean, he eventually got the picture, right? Now, I'll be honest. When I saw when I initially was watching the movie, I was thinking, right? Oh snap! He's just using her to get his hands on her family's power. No, not at all. I was pleasantly surprised. By that. But regardless, lot of things in this movie I liked. Obviously, I mean, come on now, who doesn't love Wong, right? Who doesn't love Wong? Wong is amazing, right? Wong is amazing. He's hilarious. Oh, and I'm glad I'm about to bring this up, because this actually references something that I said in a previous episode when me and my frat brother Cannell Patterson talked about the Incredible Hulk, and I mentioned that the Incredible Hulk that we got with as portrayed by Edward Norton, and later he left and Mark Ruffalo came in. That was the same Hulk. I don't know, like, and obviously, you know, most of you knew that, but there were some people who thought that they just completely revamped the hero. Like, no, I mean, you have to tailor the Hulk character to whoever is playing Bruce Banner. So you couldn't. So even though we loved, even though, like you see that post on social media all the time, they have Edward Norton's Hulk. This is the Hulk that we deserved. This is the Hulk that we got, and they point to Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. No, it's the same Hulk, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same one, same guy. It's the same guy. Edward Norton just didn't come back, and they had to make that Hulk look like Mark Ruffalo. But regardless, I told you, and it proved it in this movie. It took a Shang-Chi movie to prove it, because the Abomination was in the movie. The Abomination was in the movie, proving that I was in fact right. Right? Come on now. Come on now. I do my research now. I do my research now. Not as well as I'd like, but I'm getting better. Don't judge me. Anyways. Oh, another thing. Okay, so I'm actually gonna add this to the bad column. I didn't like the way that his father's bodyguard died. I really don't want to butcher his name, but I think I got it. It's Zhu Wenwu, or Wenwu, right? Played by Tony Tony Leung. Excuse me. Told you I butchered it. Anyways. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out the name of the guy who was his. Not talking about Razor Fist, even though Razor Fist was actually a good character too. I'll actually add his character to the plus column, because, I mean, who the hell has two fists? Let's move on. It wasn't even about the fact that he had two swords for hands. It was about the fact that he had Razor Fist on his car. Imagine you're two cops sitting in your car, and there's an APB out on a guy named Razor Fist, and he rides down, and you like seriously, the cops are just sitting at a corner in their car eating donuts and coffee, the typical cop shit, and literally they see a truck that says Razor Fist, just stroll past them doing the speed limit. They're like, oh well, 7 Adam 12 to headquarters. I think we got a positive ID. Really? How do you know? Well, car says Razor Fist, so gonna go do what we have to do. And good luck to him. I don't think it'll end up in well, but regardless, I'm just saying, you're you're part of a secret organization called the 10 Rings that's set on world domination, and your car, your SUV, says your name on it. Come on. The character I'm putting in the good column, the car I'm putting in the bad column. Sorry, guys. I'm looking on my iPad right now. I'm trying to find the name of this character. Forgive me. Because he was a bodyguard. So I'm trying to find him. Give me a second. No. Nope. Oh, yep. Here we go. Death Dealer. Oh, okay. Well, not really creative on the name, but Death Dealer, played by Andy Lay. Lay, played by Andy Lay. Didn't really like the way he died. I was expecting this big, fight between him and Shang-Chi. And I mean, I guess we did get that after the Fight Club scene, but we really didn't, though. Right? I mean, just like for a guy that was supposed to be a right hand man of the guy who is the master of the 10 rings. Now keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Death Dealer, as he is weirdly called, he actually trained. He was one of the ones that trained Shang-Chi. So, yeah. I mean, so he's no slouch, right? And you kind of, I do kind of get why. I do kind of get why he did die the way he did. Mainly because you probably can't have a situation where there's two main fights. There's two big fights, right? Because the master versus the master versus the pupil, you probably can't have that fight because he's already going to go against his father. So you can't have two major martial arts battles and then battling the evil spirit. It don't work like that, right? It just it would have been too much. So actually, after thinking about it, okay, I kind of get why they didn't do it. I still would have liked to have seen it, but you know, we can't have everything, right? We can't have everything. So it's totally fine. I have a question for you guys. And if you're listening to this, I want you to comment, and I want you to comment below. Do you think that there will be a, I mean, there's already, I mean, technically with Wong being in the movie, there was a Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, pretty much crossover. But do you think there will be a, do you think there will be a situation where Shang-Chi is in the Doctor Strange Madness of the Multiverse movie? Possibly. Let me know what you think on that. Because I don't know. I think it's possible. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it to keep it a buck with you. I wouldn't mind seeing it at all. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Let's see. Oh, he's okay. So he's a 10 Rings assassin. He was, yeah, 10 Rings assassin. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And this is what I didn't like. He was the first person killed by the by the Dweller in Darkness. That's the name of the monster, the evil spirit. By the little mini Dweller in Darknesses. Uh, dude, you're an assassin. These things fly. So let me be honest with you. There's a bunch of townsfolk and martial artists. Okay, they okay, I got it. Then there's a guy with a razor fist, or there's a guy with a swords for hands. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I've chilled with him. He's normal ish. And then there's a disgusting looking monster with wings that literally sucks the soul out of people. One of these things just doesn't belong here. I mean, if any time you needed your instincts to kick in, that was probably it. That was probably it. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Another thing I liked, the dragon. I thought it was very well animated. They can do great things nowadays, guys. I sound like an old timer and shit, but uh, you know what's interesting? I've also seen this, and I don't know if this has been like a recent thing, or if this has always been a thing, because I definitely didn't see this in Avatar: The Last Airbender. But you guys, seriously, let me know about this. But my wife recently had me watch Raya and the Last Dragon, right? And so I watched that movie, and the way that the dragon flew was pretty much the same thing. She, sorry, in the movie, and I'm pretty sure Raya the Last Dragon, and I'm pretty sure the dragon in Shang-Chi was a she as well. I don't know, maybe whatever, but they basically create magical floors with their paws that they use to get around. So they really don't fly necessarily, but as opposed to you know, uh my original interpretation of dragons, I just thought they flew, right? So maybe I'm tripping on that. If they're like, I mean, if anybody knows where I could get more information on that, let me know. Because I mean, I had no issue with it. I thought it was cool. Um, but yeah, where do you guys? I really honestly want to know, where do you guys think that the series is going? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna get into this last point. I think that sticking true to what Shang-Chi has been in the Marvel comic universe would actually go well here, because him and Katie are such likable and relatable characters that I think it would actually be a plus to add them to other movies. I'm not saying they don't deserve their other movie. I'm not saying they don't deserve a follow up. They're getting a follow up, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting another Shang-Chi movie. Absolutely. 100% guaranteed. Don't even have to like think about it. We're definitely getting another one. But he's one of those characters where if you put him in the new Doctor Strange movie, I wouldn't be mad at it. Put him in the next Spider-Man movie, I wouldn't be mad at it. Put him in if they make a Luke Cage movie, I hope they do. If you put him in that, put him in the new Iron Fist movie, if we get that. If you bring back the shows, hell, even if we get a Daredevil movie, if you put him in that, I'm okay with that. This is what he's always been, a travelman character, right? Travel to this travel to this character city or interact with this hero or villain, kick ass and dip. I got places I got to be, pimp. That's who he is. That's what he is, and there's nothing wrong with that. Know your role on your team. Doesn't mean you can't be great. Doesn't mean you can't provide. People loved Shang-Chi. There are some kids out there that love them. I think, like I said, I think it was the young adults to young adults and up that mainly appreciated him more. But I think there were a lot of kids out there that loved him. Sends a positive message, right? Represents, right? I mean, I don't want to. I hate to take it here, but it is what it is. We got a lot of white heroes. We got a lot of black heroes. There's one Chinese hero. That's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but you know, do I think that it's great that, younger Asian kids will see this character and, think, wow, the great, finally somebody a hero that relates to us? Yes, I think it's great. I think it's awesome, and you should too. Come on now. How excited were we when Black Panther came out? People was wearing dashikis to the movies, and I wasn't mad at them. I wore regular clothes, but I did not judge, and I don't. That's neither here nor there. I think that, like I said, I think that Shang-Chi definitely is here to stay. He definitely has a place in the comic cinematic universe, and I'm definitely looking forward to more movies, more specials, and more appearances by him and Katie in the Marvel cinematic universe. Forgive me. Shout out to Aquafina. Shout out to Simu Liu. They were dope. The movie was dope. The comic is dope. If you guys haven't checked out any Shang-Chi comics, I recommend you get your tail to a comic book store and check them out. If you can read the comic online, go ahead. I'm not encouraging you to. Okay. I'm just saying, however you feel you want to read the comic or get access to the comic, do you. Uh, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting into my ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of the podcast, and I am now getting into my smooth voice. Thank you all for listening in. I apologize that this episode is a week overdue. Very hard to find time to schedule these, which is mainly why I mostly record at night, but we are trying our best to keep it consistent for you guys and dropping episodes every week. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me on your way to work, on your way to pick up your kids, in your video game session, in your anime watching session, however you choose to listen. We love you. And do not forget, leave us a rating, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the episodes. Let us know what you think of the old episodes. Let us know of any ideas that you would want to hear here for other videos or other episodes. Excuse me. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the M.A.D. Nerd Talk YouTube page, where we post every episode of our podcast for free, as well as episodes that we choose to do independent of that. I just dropped a Mortal Kombat based inspired video on whether or not we should be hopeful for a sequel. So go ahead, check it out when you get a chance. Once again, that is M.A.D. M as in Mary, .A as in Apple, .D as in Delta, Nerd Talk YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you will know when we drop a video. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please stay safe, stay groovy, and above all things, stay swifty. Peace.